So my questions, I have like 3 sets of questions, and it might be a little controversial as well.
Sure, no issues.
So my first question is, don't you find it difficult to, first of all, your entire argument is based on the empathy, right? Like how much we can empathize towards animals, how much you would like to care about the animals. I understand that. I understand most of the people have a lot of empathy towards animals, but it becomes very difficult when the layers of culture, the layers of years of eating that sort of food, the years of the kind of taste that you have developed, the kind of food you're eating, and the kind of mentality a person sits, they watch a video related to the animals, they do feel bad for a minute or two. They go back out, and there's a sense of numbness that people get that is very prevalent in today's world.
Agreed.
That they go and they'll still go and eat that chicken burger that is present later on. So how do you get through to those people? What have you seen, or what tactics have you applied to get through to people that this is the cause beyond empathy?
I do not have a magical formula for human apathy. It does not exist. At this point in time, okay, let me tell you from which perspective I come from and why I do what I do this way. I want to achieve, which I know I probably will not in my lifetime, something that we vegans call as animal liberation. We don't just want animal rights, we want something called animal liberation, that is creating a society in which we have laws, because unless you have laws, you can't control anything, where it is illegal to commodify and exploit animals. Now, to create these laws, I don't necessarily need everyone on my side. I don't necessarily need everyone to become vegan. Just like how any other social justice issue, if you take for people who fought against slavery, if you take for people who fought for women's rights, only a small group of people historically have always managed to change society, and that's the same thing that's going to happen right now. The reason why I'm doing these awareness campaigns is because I first want to search and find people who have a similar mindset to me and give them the exact same message that I received 10 years ago to hope and convince to make them become vegan. That's my first step. And so far, the feedback has actually been pretty awesome, I must say, because I have had not hundreds, but thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people write to me through emails and Facebook and Instagram, whatever, in comments saying that you've changed my life and I've become a vegan now after seeing all of your videos. So the thing is that I first need to convince at least 1 lakh people to change in this country. Once I do that, I will not be on stage lecturing anymore. I'd be out there protesting, doing demonstrations, doing rallies, all non-violent forms of protest, but there will be extreme amounts of protests, because that's how you bring forth legislative change. You have to force it in. It doesn't have, this is going to be a revolution. It's not going to happen so nicely. For people who just don't care right now, I am not too focused on them. And there is no magic statement for that, because there are people in this world who also are apathetic to human suffering. I mean, we will ask in our minds when we read a newspaper, like this man apparently abused a 3-year-old child. I'm like, what on earth was going on in this guy's mind? How did he find it in his brain to justify any of the actions he did? But if I went and spoke to him, he genuinely looks at that child like its life doesn't matter. I don't have a magical way to change his brain. Similarly, there are so many people right now, like I said, they're comfortably numb. That's the word. That's a very good word. They're comfortably numb with what's happening. But you know what? Many people in society, as human beings, we have this herd mentality, where if something is niche, we don't immediately go there. You see, the outliers, the forerunners will go and stand in that niche area. But once it starts to become a bit more mainstream, a bit more popular, watch just how many people just jump ship to veganism. If 1 lakh people do become vegan, we now have celebrities and people speaking up about veganism, the actual vegans, not people who PETA gives awards to saying they're vegan, the next day they cook chicken on Instagram, not those people. Actual vegans I'm talking about. Watch how so much of society will immediately jump ship there, because it's no longer a social taboo. Right now, many people here are not afraid to become vegan because they feel like it's too difficult to get my nutrition or tasty food. They're like, what will I go back home and say to my parents when they offer me this? What will I say to my friends when we all catch up for a birthday and they offer me a slice of cake and I'm like, does it have egg in it? Does it have milk in it? That's so awkward. People don't want to face those awkward scenarios. But guess what? When vegan cakes and stuff starts becoming popular because of people who choose to change, people like me, that 1 lakh people, then it becomes much more socially acceptable. For the people who don't care, I don't have a solution. I'm not even focused on them right now. I am focused on the people, like I said, the human mind's like a parachute, only works when it's open. I'm focused right now only on the people with the open mind, and trust me, there are millions of people with open minds. So that's what I'm focusing on right now.
Thank you. Also, I have 2 questions from speakers who would rather remain anonymous, if that's fine. Okay.
You're looking at them, but okay.
Okay, no, they're not the ones. No, it's
Don't worry, the
not
camera
you.
won't capture them. Don't worry. Yeah, I could see them, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. Regarding the first question they ask is regarding unfertilized eggs, isn't that like vegan? And the second question is, aren't you as a vegan eating, what was it, eating plants? Aren't you killing living beings as well? Okay,
100%
I'm
I
very
am.
sorry. Bear with me and answer these questions.
Sure. So the first thing about the unfertilized egg, I will agree to you that an unfertilized egg is not sentient because like I kept mentioning sentient life, right? They are not sentient. But we have to agree that where do unfertilized eggs come from? From a sentient animal. It's not the fact that the egg is unfertilized, it's the fact that it comes from a sentient animal. Milk or butter in itself is not a living organism, right? But it comes from a living, breathing, sentient creature. We do not eat animals, and I quote again, eat animals because meat is an animal, nor do we eat things that come from animals because it always involves exploiting and commodifying them. Therefore, we reject them. The point of contention here is not whether the egg is fertilized or not. The point of contention is that this egg is now coming from a living, breathing, sentient organism who can feel pain and suffering just like me, love and joy just like me, and she is being commodified for that. That's why we reject eggs. You get that point? Regarding plants, well, unless that person stands up themselves and we can go back and forth, it'll be hard for me to give an answer, but I'll try to do a short version of this. If there was, I was given a sapling right here, right now, a sapling over there. If that sapling was placed over here, and I told that sapling has kidney stones, would any of you believe me? No, because to have kidney stones, you have to have a pair of kidneys, right? If I told that this sapling could get a heart attack, would any of you believe me? No, because in order to have a heart attack, you first have to have a heart, prerequisite. Now, if you say to me, this sapling or this plant can feel pain and suffering, is sentient, I'll ask you, okay, where is the brain and the nervous system and the ocular receptors, the sonar receptors, the olfactory receptors, gustatory receptors, tactile receptors, and all these organs required to feel pain and suffering in this world? You agree that plants lacking kidneys cannot have kidney stones, then similar logic, plants lacking the organs to sentience cannot be sentient. Of course they are living, no denying that. It's impossible to live in this world without killing a living being. Think of it as a spectrum right now, okay? On this side, we have the most sentient and sensitive of all creatures, which would be you, me, and everybody in this classroom, human beings. We are so sentient and so self-aware with our brains, we can suffer in ways that other animals can't suffer psychologically. We can actually make a human being suffer psychologically much more in ways that other animal can never suffer. Below that, you have animals like killer whales, dolphins, then you have elephants and pigs, which are chimpanzees, very intelligent. Then the animals like chickens, pigs that we kill and eat. After that, we have something called as arthropods. You know what that is? Invertebrate animals, that is insects basically. Insects have a brain. They don't have a CNS like us. And if you ask me the question, can insects feel pain? The honest answer is science cannot say yes. We don't really know the answer that insects can feel pain or not. But science has proved that insects can respond to nociception, meaning that they are aware that there is a threat coming forward and make a response to that. Below that, you have snails and slugs. Mollusca is their scientific term. These creatures don't even have a brain. They have basic nerve ganglia around their body, and they can sense minute amount of sensory stuff, I guess, not much at all. Below that, we have bivalves. You guys know clams and oysters that open. These are insentient organisms. These are animals, by the way, in the animal kingdom, like jellyfish, don't have a brain. These are insentient creatures. Below that, you have fungi, plants, and then these unicellular bacteria. This is a spectrum. Now, I have to kill to eat on this spectrum. I have no choice but to kill to eat. Should I choose over here or way over here? If I had a choice, where is suffering taking place and where is suffering 100% not taking place, I will have to choose this as a sensible option. Do you agree with that or do you disagree? Does your friend agree? Is the question.
I do hope they agree.
Okay, just speak to it. I can hear you. It's okay.
Yeah, I hope they agree, but kind of disagree in the sense that there have been demonstrations of plant life showing sentient nature. So I'm not really sure where.
Could you tell me which demonstrations? Like anything particular? Any particular?
See, I have no particular example, but there is theories running to the fact that if a plant can sense stimuli, the stimuli being sensed is reached somewhere at some level or the other.
Absolutely. So they definitely do have a mechanism in their body. It's in fact, we have veins and arteries and nerves. They have something known as xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem, basically. Yes, of course, plants can very well react to the stimulus given to them, which is why when there is sunlight here and a plant is facing this way at night, it will turn to face the sun. Reacting to stimulus is not the same as how we're responding to a stimulus. Response requires a cognitive ability. For example, if there is sunlight right now falling on my eyes will begin to water. That's a chemical reaction. I have no control over this. If I stare at the sun, my eyes will water. But me now choosing to move my hand and cover my eyes is a response from my brain. Plants can only react. They cannot respond. They do not have, even, for example, an organism like a jellyfish cannot respond. They have no brain. They can only react. So without the necessary organs, sentience does not exist. Just like simple thing, man. Like, see, your stomach, right? Your stomach right now is sentient because it's attached to your brain. If we removed your stomach completely and kept it floating in this jar with some liquid here, is that a living stomach? Probably till the cells die out. But can that stomach feel hunger? Can it feel hunger, like a stomach just hanging here?
No.
You think yes?
No.
No, right, yeah. It has to be connected to here. Similarly, this is lacking means the feelings don't exist. That's my whole point. Thank you.
Thank you.